Last summer, I started to work with the people who organise a university dance competition called Capital Bhangra. I'd never heard of the competition or even knew much about Bhangra dancing in the UK. I needed to learn all about it. I'm pretty impressed by what I've learned, and I want to share it with you because I'm sure there's lots of others who haven't heard of Capital Bhangra yet. Bhangra is a form of folk dance that comes from the Punjab, which is a region in South Asia famous for its agriculture and 5 rivers. As Punjabi people have migrated across the world, they've taken the dance of Bhangra with them. In recent years, the tradition of Bhangra teams competing against one another has been reborn. Particularly in North America, and inspired by those competitions, lots of UK teams have emerged. But with only one university competition in 2011, teams were being formed and dancers were putting in lots of hard work, only to be disappointed with nowhere to compete. At the same time as all of this was happening, a website discussion forum helping UK Bhangra dancers had been growing popular online. The website is called nachdapunjab.co.uk, and although many of the forum users at the time wanted to see more competitions, nobody was coming forward. One autumn night in 2011, the site founder, Harinder, telephoned another senior member, Fez, and for a reason that nobody can remember, then added another senior member called Nitin to the call. In the midst of their complaining, they all wondered why they couldn't put on a competition themselves, and at that very moment, Capital Bhangra was born. The trio added other Bhangra lovers to the organising team and got down to work, booking the Bloomsbury Theatre in London and inviting teams to compete. 6 universities came forward, which was really exciting, and things started to move along. Tickets were ready to go on sale, posters were designed, and a special guest host had been booked. But that's when a problem came up. One of the university teams dropped out. Some of the dancers were too busy with exams. Okay, they thought, we still have 5 teams, but then another university team dropped out because half of their team wasn't talking to the other half of the team. Before they could even think of what to do, a 3rd university team dropped out because they'd suffered a lot of injuries. It was as if the competition had been hit by a bus, or 3 buses, before they'd even got started. It's always hard doing something new, but this was starting to feel like it was impossible. Maybe people didn't want more competitions. Maybe there weren't going to be more teams. Having come so far though, Harinder thought that if it didn't happen this year, it probably wouldn't happen next year, or the year after, or even at all. He and the others didn't want to give up, but could they put on a competition with just 3 teams? There was only one place to get the answer to this: the dancers on the 3 remaining teams. Having worked so hard, they hoped these teams would still want to compete and that they could look past any digs about being guaranteed a placing. Again, the existence of the competition depended on some telephone calls, but they needn't have worried. Edinburgh, Greenwich and UCL LSC were more than happy to go on stage and compete, with the latter taking the first ever Capital Bhangra crown. The dedicated teams, supportive crowd and entertaining host, YouTube's very own Superwoman, made it seem like there weren't as many empty seats as there probably were. A huge amount of money might have been spent and lost, but Capital Bhangra had now finally arrived. Full house audiences have seen the competition since, meaning that hundreds of university students have had a platform on which to share their love of Bhangra and Punjabi culture, which is exactly what the organisers of Capital Bhangra wanted to do. I'm so proud to be helping make this competition happen. It's hard work, but fun and really rewarding, especially for those dancers who dedicate themselves to their teams all year round. Show your support for them and us by coming to Capital Bhangra, the UK's most welcoming university team Bhangra competition.